11 says, how many default instances of SQL Server can we have on a server?
One.
On a VM? One, thank you. Next person, Nelly.
Give me a second. 30.
30. What is the difference between a system database and a user database?
So, I use layman terms here just because as a refresher for Misha.
Okay.
So system database pretty much houses all the database and gives permission for give permission to a user, but a user does not have access to all the database, but only gets access to what the system database allows.
Oh.
You said no?
So no, that is not correct. So the answer to the question is in the name of those things. A system database, a user database.
So a system database is a database that is a database for the system, right? Which means everything.
It's for the system by the
database.
system for the system.
Yeah, which it means everything is in that database. But for a user database, it's only access to a user.
No, it has nothing. This has nothing to do with access. So let me help you. Let me help you. This is what this is how you will not forget. You can say a system database is a database created by the system, while a user database is a database created by a user. So because a system database is created by a system, it comes with SQL Server, which is the system. So you don't install or create a system database. It comes with SQL automatically. But for a user database, it has to be created by a user. So any database that you create, that's a user database. For any database you find on your instance and wasn't created by a user, that's a system. So if you go to Object Explorer, if I expand, see, whatever you find here, is a system database. Whatever you find below here, these are user databases. These are the databases that you can create. But these ones, you do not create them. They are already pre-created in the system.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, they come with the system. You don't have to create them.
Oh, cool. Thanks.
Yep. Next person. And these ones, so let me mention this again. The system databases, you cannot delete them, you cannot drop them because you didn't create them in the first place. Okay, but the user databases, they're created by users. So whoever has the right permissions can delete them, drop them, you can do. So let's see that. So if I expand this system databases now, if I click on master, if you look at all the options here, do you see delete?
No.
There's no option to delete because you cannot delete. If I come to model, look at all the options here. No delete. If I come to MSDB, look at all the options. There's no delete. Because they come with the system. You cannot alter them. If you look at TermDB, no delete. But if I come to the user databases, I click, come here, you see, I can delete, I can rename. I can change the name. But for the system databases, you cannot delete them, you cannot change their names, you cannot rename them. See, delete, rename. Another user database, delete, rename. But for the system, you can do. It's outside of our control because that is controlled and owned by the system, which is SQL Server. All right. OD, you're next. O.D. That's
I will go with, let's see. Let's go with 21.
21.
Yes, sir.
21
Mention
says
3 activities that can be done.
it can be done on the SQL Server Configuration Manager.
This is gonna be a guess. You can request data, right? What?
How do you request data from the configuration manager?
From the configure. Okay, sorry. I was thinking about the language itself.
Oh, you were
SQL.
thinking of SQL?
Yeah.
No, this is not SQL. This is configuration manager. So if you look at here, let me show you. Look at where I'm highlighting or drawing stuff. See here?
Yeah.
This guy right here, this is SSMS. This is SQL Server Management Studio.
Got it.
You see this guy with the briefcase?
Yeah.
That is the configuration manager. That is the SQL Server config. And I always tell you the name, but the meaning is in the name. Config manager.
Okay, so you can you can configure settings.
The manager. You can configure the manager. Or you can manage the configuration.
Yeah, I haven't really gotten to this part yet, but definitely by next weekend I will be all caught up.
Alrighty, no problem. Who can help? New students. What 3 activities can we do on the configuration manager?
Data entry.
Data entry. Who said that? I want to zell you. Who said that? So I can zell you.
Sorry, I'm wrong. It's Alabisi.
Okay.
Okay, I would think it's start, stop, pause.
What are you starting? What are you pausing?
the what is it called again? I think it's the engine.
The services.
Yes.
Services, yes. That's one. You can start, you can pause, you can restart, you can stop services. That's one. Yeah, I mentioned another one. Another one. What else can we do on the configuration manager? Okay, let me pull it up. So this is the configuration manager now. So if you come to here, you see SQL Server services. So whatever you see here, these are services. So you have the SQL Server service, also known as the database engine. You have the SQL Server agent. This is another service. And we have the SQL Server browser. There are other services that are not here because I didn't install those. So you can have the integration, you can have reporting, you can have analytics, and yes, you can have what is it called? I think full text.
Scheduling.
What are you scheduling? Yeah, show me how to schedule. Walk me through how you can schedule on the configuration manager.
Through the SQL Server agent.
But SQL Server agent is not here now. It's not. This is the service that is running the agent, but this is not the agent itself. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
The agent is on SSMS, but this one is just the service that is running. If you look at the status here or the state, it says running. So this is what is running what you see on the Object Explorer, but this is not the agent itself. So this one is what is running the engine, the database engine, and this is why you are able to connect. If this is stopped, you will not be able to connect on the SSMS. Does that make sense? So let me just help out. Okay, all students, what are the other 2 things that we can do on configuration manager? There are a lot of things, so just give me 2. Apart from starting and stopping. So let me show you those starting and stopping stuff. So if I right click on any of the services here, see, start, stop, pause, resume, restart. Can do all of this stuff. So what other things can we do?
You can create an alias.
Thank you. You can create an alias for your instance. What other thing?
You can change the port.
You can change the port. Remember when we said we can change port 1433? We can only do that here. You can do it here, 1433. You can change it to whatever port you want. And let me just show how to do that real quick. For your alias, you can create an alias by coming to here. See, this native client, see alias. Right click, create new alias. So alias is like a nickname. So instead of connecting to my VM, you see the way I connected here? Let me show you guys. See I'm using VM. If I want to connect, where I will connect using this name. You may choose not to use this name. I may choose to use an alias, a nickname, something that will replace this to connect. That's an alias. And you can configure that on here. To change the port number, you come here to SQL Server Network Configuration. Click on protocols for weights or whatever instance you want to change the port. Come to TCP/IP, right click, properties, come to IP addresses, all the way down. See, I've actually changed this one. So this, if you check your own, you will see 1433. But look at mine. Mine says 2044. I've changed it. So I'm using 2044 as my own port, not the conventional or the default 1433. So that's another thing you can do there. And here, if you want to set up always on, you can do that here. So if I right click on this database engine service and I go to properties, you can do a lot of things here. You can change service accounts. If I don't want to use this service account, I can change it from here. If you want to do always on, you have to enable it here. If you want to change the location of the master data and log files, you can do it here. If you want to change the location of the error log, you do it here. You know, if I want to change the start mode from manual to auto or auto to manual and stuff like that, or if you want to disable it, you can do it here. You know, there's just so many things that you can do here. You can also find information about your instance here. See, this tells you that you're using Enterprise Evaluation Edition. Some other stuff here, yeah. So those are the things you can do here. So here, because I'm local to this VM. I'm inside of VM03 and I'm connecting to the instance on that VM. And I'm connecting, I don't have to specify the port. But if I was connecting from VM01, I will have to specify the port because I'm not using the default port any longer. I'm using a different port, which is 2044. So if I was connecting from outside of VM03, I will have to do this to connect. I'll put the instance name, I'll put comma, and I'll put the port number that I'm using. But if you are using 1433, which is default, you don't have to put that. But if you are using any port other than 1433, you have to put the port number and then click connect. Bam. You see this a lot when you start working. Most companies don't use the default because everybody knows the default 1433, so it's not that secured. So most companies will change it to a different number. So, but if you change the port number, this is how you connect. You put the name of the instance you want to connect, comma, and then the port number. If you are using a port other than 1433. But if you are using 1433, there's no need to put the port. But if you put it, it will still connect, but there's no point putting it. Let me see if I can do the alias real quick. So right click, new alias. So what alias do we give this one? I'll say bootcamp. What port number? Remember, I'm using 2044 TCP/IP. What's the server? I'm creating the alias for VM03/awaits. Okay. See, I just created the alias here. I think I have to do it for one more place. Here. Sometimes if you do it in one place, it will not work. Bootcamp 2044 VM03/await. So I'm replacing this VM03 with bootcamp. That's pretty much what I'm doing. Then I have to restart this service for that change to be effected. Restart. Okay. All right. So now let's try to connect with that. So if I come here now, instead of connecting with VM03/await, I will just put bootcamp. That's the alias. Now I click connect. Bam. So it's the same thing. So I've created this alias for this instance. So this and this are technically the same. I'm just using different names. So this is the actual name. This is the alias. Actual, alias. But if I expand, you see that it's the same thing that is there. See? AdventureWorks 2016, AdventureWorks 2016. Stack Overflow 2013, Stack Overflow 2013. Typical interview questions, typical interview. So you are connecting to the same instance. You are just using two different names. One is the real name, one is the alias. More like nickname. Some of us, we have nicknames, you know, and we have our real name, and then we have nicknames too. So it's the same thing for SQL Server. Make sense? So one way, another way, this is, okay, sorry. So the way to know whether the connection is an alias or not is this. So if I come to this one, I've opened a new query window and I will just type select at server name and I'll run it, execute. See, whenever you run this query, whatever you get here, this is the actual name. So if this name matches with the name here, then you know that, okay, I connected using the actual name, if they match, like this. But if I come to this second one, and I right click, and I open a new query window, and I run the same query, select at server name, and I execute. See, I will always, whenever you run this, you always get the actual name. But you see now that this name, which is the actual, it doesn't match with this. So this is how you know that this one is the what? Alias. As long as this name that you have on the Object Explorer does not match with the result of select at server name, then what you have on the Object Explorer is what? Is an alias. But if they match, like this one, then this is you have connected using the actual name. Okie doke. All right. Let's move on. I know it's a lot to take in, but make sure you rewatch this video. It's being recorded, so watch it again and everything will make more sense. Who's the next person? Oh, it's already 11. So we still have some questions left. Before I forget, there will be no class next Sunday in observance of Thanksgiving in the US, for those that are not in the US. So next week, Thursday, or this week actually, this week Thursday is Thanksgiving. So we're not going to have class on Sunday. So now, for those that have not completed your lab, you have more than enough time now to complete your lab and then catch up with these videos. Okay, watch the part 2 of module 1 and watch this current class that is being recorded. So that by the time we meet, so today is November 19. Next Sunday is 26. There's no class November 26.